Hey, what's up guys, Bryce here, and we're back at it again for another video. And in this video we have our first Radical SR10 race at Road Atlanta in iRacing. So here we go for the start of this race. Qualified in P8. My lap wasn't good. I actually crashed in the second lap of qualifying, so I wasn't able to put in a quick lap. You can see we're right on the bumper of these guys, almost going into the back of them. And you'll see this yellow DHL car going off the track. He's going to come back on the track. Right there, he got a slowdown for that. You can see the first three guys are pulling away, so we really just want to get in front of them as much as we can. I'm going to be doing a lot of Radical races this season and posting a lot of them, so you can just see kind of highlights. Not going to be the full race, but I'll just skip to the moments where I make overtakes and just show you the mistakes I've made and things that I've done to improve. So back straight here, slipstream is pretty powerful with these cars, as most of you know if you've driven this car. Pretty new, just came out, a lot of fun, and we're gonna make a move on this car on the left hand side here, and this will move us up into P5 as we're still side by side going down into turn 10 or 13. Not exactly sure, don't have the map up right now. And we get that move done into P5, and I've been fluctuating between about like 3.9 iRating and 3.5. I've just been really inconsistent, just defending the inside a little bit there to make sure he doesn't make any moves. Just been inconsistent, honestly. There's just some races where I kind of just jump in without really practicing much, but definitely going to make that change to just whenever I do a race, really prepare for it, because once you get above 3.5k iRating or just 3k in general, you can lose a lot just from not performing well. And that definitely happened to me. So it's really important that you just, whenever you do a race, just make sure that you are prepared to lose iRating if you do not put in a good performance. So we're sitting in P5 right now, 20 laps to go. My goal was top 5. I should have qualified P3 if I put in my best lap. Optimal would have put me on pole, which is really what I wanted, but I made that mistake in qualifying. But you'll see in this race I did make a few nice passes and did make it up the order, but I did have a little mistake towards the end, and really, honestly, my pace through this race was really good. I really felt like I was just maxing out the pace with this car. I was really flying. I had the fastest lap of the race. We'll take you through a little lap guide here. Going down to turn 1, braking after the 100-meter board. This car will slide a lot on entry, get back on power nice and aggressively. I did include the telemetry for you guys, just so you can see that. Take a lot of this curb here. That'll help you set up this next sequence of corners. Through here is all flat out, just about lining up the car perfectly. First couple laps on cold tires, a little bit difficult to get flat out. Watch out for these curbs here in the Radical, very deadly, especially this one right here. We have a huge snap of oversteer. Almost sent us flying off the track. Braking down for this corner right after the 200-meter board. Light on the brakes, but with the camber you can just rotate the car a lot into that corner. That corner we just passed will lead you onto this very long straight, which is very crucial. A little moment to relax here. You can get a nice slipstream from the cars in front, and this will lead us down to the chicane section. Going down into the chicanes, braking right before the 100-meter board. It's downhill. You can be pretty aggressive on the brakes. I use the curb on the right to flick the car into the left. Another right. We're going to go up the hill, over the crest, and then we're going to go down the hill. These cars have a lot of downforce. This is all flat out, which is quite nice. And that will bring us to lap 5, a quarter into this race. So this is a lap where we catch P3. A car spun out earlier, so we were able to get P4, but this is P3 right in front of us, so already doing very well in this purple car. And again, we're just pushing the car to the limit. Missed the apex on the inside there. Ideally, I wanted to pass him on the back straight. I think that's a really good passing opportunity. You can pass other places, but again, the goal in this race was to have the fastest overall time in the race, not just get past as soon as I could. So going to this corner here, we have a good amount of rotation. We're going to get a slightly later apex by turning in just a bit later. We did miss that curb though, but it doesn't affect us too much. He doesn't have much slipstream from the car in front, so that's going to give us a nice opportunity to get slipstream from this guy up in front. We have good slipstream. We're going to move to the right, and sort of just make sure he doesn't cut back and get the run going down to these corners here. And we're going to get this move done quite easily with no problem. We squeeze him just a tad bit. He's still there on the outside, but we get the move done. There we go. Up into P3, and the gap in front to P2 is about 4 seconds, 4 or 5 seconds. So this is going to need a lot of work to catch up to P2. Lap 15 of 25 laps to go. We managed to close a 5-second gap, which is really good. And P2 will give us a good amount of iRating as well. So this is really what I wanted. And we are on his tail of Alex Millward. And we're just going to try to get the nicest line through here. Pretty clean run. And he was kind of on the edge here throughout these laps. I could kind of tell he was a little bit squirrely, and just have to pick the right moment and opportunity to go for this pass. Here is really a good opportunity. Just get a little bit of a later apex. I made sure I just kissed the apex on the inside, and that allowed us to get a nice run. And you can see we're clearly going to pass him. A nice slipstream move to the right, and we are going to get this move done pretty shortly. And we pass him even before we get down to the chicane. I think he kind of knew I was going to pass him. He didn't really put up too much of a battle here. And now we are up into second place, chasing down the first place guy who is just in front of that DHL car. That is a back marker. And we have a fight on our hands now to catch P1. Lap 17, 3 laps to go. And you'll see what happens on this lap here. Just going up the hill, just pushing really hard. I switched my brake bias back just a little bit. Sliding into turn 4. And we get a huge snap of oversteer, and this will send us into the wall. Very unfortunate. Just was on the brakes a little bit too hard, and the car was sliding. And then when I went on the curb and went back onto the track, when the car hit the track, had a big slide, snap of oversteer, went into the wall, and we only lost 1 position actually, or 2 positions. So we're in P4 right now, and now we have to pass this purple car once more to get back up into P3, and we do catch him very shortly. Very unfortunate, but again, I was just proud of myself for keep going, because it is definitely very tempting to just kind of give up, but I definitely did not give up, and I was still pushing as hard as I was. Steering had a little bit of... Definitely steering column was a little bit broken. It's kind of hard to see it here, but it was a little bit broken. Have some POV here from the cockpit of the SR10. And again, I knew I was faster, and you can see I'm already on his rear bumper. So we're just going to try to get this move done pretty much as soon as we can. You can see going into turn 1, I have a little bit of a look, I think. No looks into turn 1, but we are very close. You can see our lines are just slightly tighter than his going down into the corner where I made my mistake. I made sure I didn't do that this time around. And we are super close. We have about 3 laps to go. That curb on the left is very lethal. Going into these few corners here. Really sketchy, honestly, at this point in the race. The tires are so dead. Not completely dead, but they're definitely worn at this point. A little nervous of that DHL car on the inside, but he did let us go. And you can see those curbs are affecting that car in front. We're going to get a nice late apex, a little bit of oversteer all over the curbs at this point. And we're going to see if we can get this move done on this straight. You can see the steering wheel of the SR10 is much different than the SR8. Kind of like a Formula style wheel. Here we go on the back of him, move to the right hand side. Completely move to the right. Leave as much room as I can, because at this point I didn't want to be too aggressive, because I have a lot to lose now with damage and everything like that. But we get the move done, and this will put us back up into P3. And this is the last lap of the race right here, coming up on the last lap. So unfortunately didn't have much time to catch P1, but we did finish in P3 in the Radical. So that is another race, the first race actually in the books for the Radical SR10. Gonna be doing more races, see if I can just improve my iRating more. I do want to do full races as well and post those, and possibly do live streams depending on what usually you guys like the most. Typically the full races tend to be the most popular ones, but it's fun to throw in a highlight here and there, just to shorten down the races that I do. Next week in the Radicals is actually going to be Sebring, which is a very interesting track to do in the Radicals. GT3s I've done, That track I love and hate. It's a gorgeous track, beautiful flow to it, but it is very difficult. Probably the reason why I don't like it, because I'm not very good at it, but definitely need to improve on that track. But that's going to be it for me. Hopefully you enjoyed this radical race. Highly recommend you buy this car and try it out if you are in the iRacing community. Any questions or comments, leave them down below, and I'll see you in the next video, guys. Bye-bye.